A great warm welcome once again on Smart 24 TV. I want to welcome you to this very show, The Business. Today we're going to have a look at the stories that are trending. Some of them are in company news, some of them are product profile, and of course very many stories are going to appear here in this very program. My name is Pedison Mumbere, alongside with my colleague Hanifa, who we are going to make sense of the stories that are going to make the headlines on this very program. And now starting it off, we're now looking at combating climate. Here, the climate change being one of major threats to Uganda's sustainable development and efforts to end poverty. Stakeholders have emphasized the need for Uganda to adopt progressive environmental friendly policies and innovations, including budget tagging. Remember, the country is expressing a diverse weather patterns such as prolonged drought and floods in different parts of the country. So let's have a look at this very story, and then we'll come back to the studio to have a sense out of it. Given that climate change poses a significant danger to Uganda's effort to achieve sustainable development and eradicate poverty, stakeholders have underlined the necessity for Uganda to implement initiative and progressive policies that promote environmental sustainability, such as budget tagging. Unfavorable weather patterns have increased throughout the nation, including landslides in the east, floods and droughts in the north. What then could be the solution?
We need to see ourselves very prepared as Uganda. Kampala is the most polluted city, among the most polluted cities in Africa. 325 microbes, 10 times more pollution than the average place or average city in the world. So we are sinking slowly under our own weight. The population is growing and we need food. So we need a fund as corporate leaders around which we are going to work.
And bring 10 billion, 50. Standard Chartered Bank by 2030, we have a global commitment to raise $300 billion for climate transition. $300 billion. But where are the projects, if I think about Uganda? Where will I put the money? I have money. Where there is an acute scarcity, I'm using this word, acute scarcity of investable projects. Because investable projects have to be projects that are national, that are scale, that really make a difference. You know, I can't say I changed Standard Chartered Bank, I'll reduce my own energy, I need $2 million. Somebody will say, you can do it, afford it yourself. Why are you coming for petty cash? So investable projects need to be scale.
Bankers believe that combating climate crisis necessities is not only the provision of incentives, but also the cultivation of investable projects. These projects, in turn, must embody sustainability at their core and demonstrate the capacity to yield a viable return on investment.
Weather change is increasing and severely affecting the lives of citizens and the environment. So it has led to extreme weather events such as unpredictable prolonged drought, landslides in the mountainous areas, continuous floods around lakes and river banks, and constant floods in cities and urban centers, destroying property, and losses of lives. This leads to increased clean water scarcity, more disease and economic losses, and therefore these changes in the climate trends have the potential to affect the development of the country.
A new $2.9 million initiative has been launched in Uganda to address the growing impacts of climate change by developing a national adoption plan, NAP, backed by the Green Climate Fund with support from UN Environment Program. The project will be executed by Uganda's National Climate Change Department in the Ministry of Water and Environment. Yeah, this is one among the stories that we managed to compile for you regarding combating climate change. You see, Hanifa, the issue of climate change is becoming so serious. Combating climate crisis, You can see what happened in Bududa. You can see what is happening in Kasese. All this, you can see even what's happening in the urban area here. Every time it rained, you just see the flow of water, floods getting everywhere, and there's a way how it disorganizes businesses around Kampala here.
Yeah, and I love how these developed countries have put in a lot of efforts in trying to combat climate change. We all know they are the ones that are emitting the emissions from their countries, which are affecting, of course, the climate. Is at a bigger percentage than us in Africa because of the few industries that we have here. But the efforts they are putting in, I don't know whether it's because now Uganda is about to produce its first oil and everyone is looking at that oil. That oil is going to destroy the climate. But I love the efforts. If it's for a good cause, it is good, well and good. If it's for our oil, let us first produce our oil. You guide us because you've also produced oil. You see, the Arab nations have produced oil.
I understand.
We see the European countries have produced oil. They have they are, most of them, actually most of those countries are to blame for the effect of climate change that we are seeing that are affecting the country and the whole world at large. But if they are going to improve if they are going to help Uganda produce its oil the right way without affecting the climate, the environment so much, it is welcome. It's welcome,
but now there is a problem, Manifa. The biggest problem that we're having, I was listening to Sanjay Rugan. Sanjay Rugan is the executive director of Standard Bank, that Indian man. And he was like, for him, in his bank, there is money. There's over 300 plus money, means a lot of money is there. Which money is going to help us to combat the climate change crisis? But there are no investable projects. We don't know what to do with that money. What do we need? People don't have programs. People don't have projects, and yet that money is there. So that's another big problem that we are facing at the moment.
But we have green energies. Maybe their fear is, how is this money going to be used? But we have Ugandans who have started these projects, green energy, the solar energy. That is all clean energy. We have. We have so many Ugandans, so many innovative people have come out with innovations that can help combat.
But he was like, that money is there, but he's not seeing people coming. People are not making him busy to get that money.
Maybe he fears the corruption in this country. Maybe he fears the money will go into the wrong hands.
I understand.
But there are people who care for the climate. We have people who are fighting for the climate. People who have come out to educate the environmental journalists. We are here. We can let the money come to us. We shall educate. We shall inform the public on the dangers. We shall teach them. Now that the country is trying to go away from using charcoal because of the effects. People are cutting down trees and all that. Which also affects the climate as well. We are trying to move away from that. Let us put that money in projects that are going to help the people who have been using this charcoal to move away from this because it is dangerous for the environment.
But still, this is a take home from this very story. They said that a new $2.1 million initiative has been launched in Uganda to address the growing impacts of climate change by developing a national adoption plan. That's NAP. That plan has been launched here. And then it is backed up by Green Climate Fund. You can see ABI. ABI is also among the NGOs here in the country that are looking forward to combating the climate change crisis. But also that fund will be supported, with the support from the UN Environment Program. And this project will be executed by Uganda National Climate Change Department in the Ministry of Water and Environment. So I think this is a very good initiative. What do you say about this?
Yeah, it is a very good initiative. Now, the fact that it is going to go through the Ministry of Water. Ministry of Water has tried. Of course, it has tried. It is not facilitated that much because the they use the money they make. They use the money that they get from the people. People pay for water and all that. That is the kind of money that they use. They are not facilitated that much.
Okay.
I've visited the water plant here at Bogolobi. I've seen some tremendous work, good work they are trying to do.
Okay.
I think if the Ministry of Water, rather, National Water and Storage Corporation, if it is facilitated properly, they can try to do a good job for this nation.
That's very important. Now, still in the trending today, we're going to look at Israel. Everybody is knowing what is happening in Israel at the moment. The war between Israel, the Hamas, and whatever, all what is taking place over there. But now looking at the story here, they're saying that the war has been there for the last 75 years. This is so holistic. How can the war remain there for over 75 years? And up to now, leaders have not come up with any means to make sure that they stop this. So we all know all these recent conflicts started when Hamas broke into Israel and kidnapped as well as killing Israelites who returned the favor by bombing Gaza and putting a total siege on this area. So this is what is happening at the moment. And remember, there was a church bombing, right? There was a hospital bombing. You can imagine. So yesterday, but what? There is a church. There was a hospital, right? There was a hospital.
Yesterday, but one was a hospital.
And now today, is it yesterday or today?
Yeah.
They also bombed the church. This is so serious to the people who are there.
Yeah. What has been the takeaway points from this war? This is a long conflict which started in 1947 when Israel was created. Britain, of course, the Great Britain, you know, it was the colonizing power by then. It had colonized so many countries. We have Palestine. Palestine was under the British, a British colony. It is a British colony,
right?
By the way. Yeah. So when these the Israelites were killed in Europe, especially in Germany by Hitler himself, these people wanted to find a standing solution to this problem. How can we bring our people how can we remove our people from Europe where they are being tortured and killed and
something like that? Yeah.
So when they brought them to they first talked about Uganda.
Uganda was also listed.
Uganda was the first country to be listed. They even voted in favor of Uganda. But when they sent in people to come on ground and check the land, they're like, no, we do not have any relation with Ugandans. We cannot go there. So I heard even Argentina was
also partly listed.
But then they refused and then decided to go to Palestine. Palestine is a historical country that has both Christian and Muslim holy sites. So of course, even the Bible, you know the history of the Bible talks about that Middle East country. So they're like Palestine. So the Palestinians, when Palestinians were welcoming at first, these guys came in. Britain decided that we bring in them. But when they reached there, they said, we need a country. We want to create a state of ourselves as Israelites. So,
as you're being brief.
Exactly, as I'm being brief. The Arab countries, you know, the Arab nations, were like, no, we can accept for the Israel to come in, but we cannot accept for a state. For them to create a state within
in brief,
Palestine.
that's how these conflicts started coming up.
It has been on for 75 years.
Yeah, it's been there for 75 years.
The most annoying thing of all, innocent people are the ones to pay for this war. Innocent people, world leaders have failed humanity. It is humanity at loss here. People are being killed. We condemn loss of lives on both sides.
But I think leaders from both sides should have a round table and discuss how they can bring peace on the ground.
Especially Britain. Britain is the one that caused all this.
No, please, wait. Don't start blaming now what I'm saying. This is what I'm thinking.
No, it is. Britain is the one that caused these boundaries. You see, these boundaries have been ever, even partitioning Africa. It is not only Israel. It is not only Palestine that is having issues.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what is trending right now, the war between the two countries. I'm thinking both countries should come, leaders who are responsible for this, leaders who are in big seats, big tables, high tables. I hear some of them sit in Tel Aviv, others sit in Britain. They should just come back together, sit down and see how they can harmonize this situation.
They should
Otherwise,
correct.
women, children, business people, all the people are also dying, innocent people also dying in this. You can imagine bombing a hospital. You're already sick, and again another bomb comes around and then bomb you off. I mean, that's not just
like being born in Gaza is like being born in a prison.
Yes.
You have nowhere to go. You are born a prisoner.
Yeah.
It is an airspace, it is an airspace prison.
We need to just have a prayer together and pray for that area.
We should pray for
now, getting to another story that is in trending today, I'm looking at the world that is growing technologically. Like today, you can buy your hospital on your smartphone. I mean, you can access your specialist and get medical care without necessarily going to Mulago or without necessarily going to any other hospital. At the comfort of your zone, at the comfort of your home, you can get treated. Hanifa did this story. Let's first have a look at this very story, and then we come back to studio and Hanifa gives us some sort of insights on what it means by having a smartphone and you get healed from home without going to Mulago.
In the era of COVID-19 pandemic, when global lockdowns were in effect, a significant number of individuals lost their lives, not due to COVID-19 itself, but because they faced difficulties in obtaining medical treatment for other health issues. The entire world's focus was primarily on the COVID-19 crisis, making access to other forms of medical care challenging. However, technology giants from advanced nations introduced innovative methods that allowed their citizens to receive medical services from specialists without need for physical meetings, ultimately preventing numerous fatalities. In Uganda, regrettably, numerous lives were lost due to the inability to access medical services, a situation that was preventable. Fortunately, this technology has now made its way to the country, offering the potential to save many lives without the need for in-person doctor visits.
For the first time, imagine 24/7 you are with your doctor on your phone. In other words, through chat, after seeing the doctor, when you go back, you continue to engage that doctor on chat. So if you saw Dr. Richard, for example, through the chat component of our software, you'll be able to get in touch with Richard. So in that way, after 3 days, when Richard is saying, okay, how is the medication going? Are you taking a medication? You're not going to lie to him. So in that way, you will adhere to your medical plan, and the result will definitely be much better.
In the contemporary fast-paced world, waiting for medical assistance is no longer a viable choice. This pioneering platform empowers individuals to engage with more than 350 health experts, obtaining prescriptions, access medications, and avail themselves of a comprehensive array of medical services, all conveniently from the comfort of their own residences.
Is the future. That's where the entire world is heading. You know what happened, how COVID struck, and how people are very busy. Everyone is busy, people are into something, people are traveling. So you need to have the hospital. That's why we have this campaign on the go. Your hospital is on the phone. So this innovation came up. Actually, there is a story of the vision bearer. Richard will give us the story of how he came up with this innovation. But for we Ugandans and the rest of the nation, we need to have the hospital in our phones, just like you have those applications that save you.
A large number of public hospitals in Uganda face overcrowding and a scarcity of specialized medical practitioners, but this technology simplifies the process of connecting with a specialist doctor of your preference based on varying pricing options.
Because I can guarantee you 100,000 is affordable, just like 50,000 is affordable, 10,000 is affordable. So what is affordable? What is affordable? What I'm trying to say is these are what we are paying out. We do not have one figure in the country that now we are benchmarking on that. I mean, different hospitals and different practitioners charge differently. And what I can guarantee you that with telemedicine, the cost from all angles, including the one you paid the doctor, has been subsidized and it's made cheaper.
Yeah, these are some of the stories that are in the trending segment, and I like what Hanifa, I like what you did. I just want to know one thing. Hanifa, I am sick. I stay in Bukoto, and I am sick. I can't walk out. I can't do anything. And you are saying that by the use of my smartphone here, is it supposed to be smart?
Yes.
Yes. By the use of my smartphone here, then I can get healed, they can work on me, and I get healed in my room when I have not gone out.
Yeah.
I just want to know how that can happen. I know we are growing technologically. There's a lot of technology going on here in the country, but still, teach the people how this can happen. You did this story.
So, according to the innovators, the tech giants of this thing.
I hear tech giants. Okay.
Yeah, they call themselves. Okay, I call them that because even I ask the same questions. How can I get the service? I've not left my home. Okay, especially they are saying, especially for people who live in far places.
Okay.
People in Kasese, you have your Jaja in Kasese.
He's rightly there.
Yes.
And by the way, he's sick.
Yeah. And you do not have, you don't want to put in all this, to put her in a vehicle, drive him or her to the hospital Mulago to see a specialist.
Bus, poko from Kasese up to Kampala.
Oh, that bump.
Even the patient can die on the way.
Exactly.
Then?
For this app, according to the guys, they say the app, you have the app on your phone.
Okay.
You have, this app connects you to over 350 specialists.
350 specialists. These are doctors.
Doctors
right?
from so many hospitals. You can have Mulago, Case Clinic, whatever. All name it.
I understand.
Name it. Because sometimes to see a doctor, a specialist doctor, it takes time. It takes hard work. You go to a hospital and have these long queues. Like sometimes you don't even they can't even go without you meeting that doctor. But here you are, you have a variety of doctors, 350, those are so many. You can even have doctors from outside the country, by the way. Talk to this doctor, tell the doctor history of your pain.
How are you feeling?
How you are feeling. By the way, sometimes we think doctors are magic workers, yet us ourselves, the doctors get information from us. You tell the doctor, I have this headache, it has been here, where is this? The doctor will ask you, which side of your head? My left. The doctor will know whether that's a migraine or it's a stress, headache, whatever. They know. You tell them the history.
But I think this technology works with minor, small diseases.
No,
what if I am sick and I am supposed to be operated, and then do I need to use this?
Yeah, according to them, you have a relationship with your doctor.
Okay.
He knows exactly. Even he can't guide the people because they send services to you wherever you are.
Okay.
Depending that will depend on how much you have. Of course, you put in money.
You need also to put in some money.
Definitely, you need services. When you go to Mulago, don't you put services? Don't you put money? We pay money in Mulago, which is a public hospital.
Are you sure?
Yes, we do. We have Mulago Specialized Hospital. It is very expensive. I've been there.
And they pay money.
They pay money. Mulago is specialized. It's not.
I thought Mulago is free. Free services.
Public.
I thought Mulago is free services.
Mulago has different.
Sure.
Yeah. So when you get to a doctor, because you've created a relationship, the doctor knows the history of you. Whatever services they are going to send back home to your door, he knows. He either comes. If it needs surgery, they send for you, or they can send an ambulance and come for you, and then set a date for your operation.
Okay.
I think that's time saving, and I think it's even
time saving, and you can even save some money. I mean, it's not costly.
It is not that costly because here, according to them, they have. It depends on what doctor you want, because from all those 350 doctors, and they assume they are going to add more doctors on the list.
So this is the application that you need to download and put it on your phone, right?
Yeah, I think you go to them and then they get. It's called NetDoc.
It's called NetDoc.
Yeah, it's a telemedicine something app you can have on your phone, and then you interact with all
with the doctors.
Even with if you have a problem with your sight, you can get the.
Problem, or you're talking about me. If I have a problem with my sight, I can call the doctor using that application.
Exactly.
I can download it. Yeah. Also have sort of Play Store.
I asked so many questions. I asked like people who don't have smartphones, because I needed to know how do they get help.
That question is also very
because
important.
Not so many ordinary. We have our local people don't have. They do not have the smartphones. He said you can share the information of your relative with another relative who has a smartphone, and then they get help. And then this one just sends the village so and so, and then they just call the person, and then they deliver the help. I think Uganda is taking the right step.
I think we are taking a step when it comes to the technological penetration into the country, and we need all these gadgets that can help us. It's all about having your smartphone and then download that. It's called what? Telehospital application, and then you can access net, and then you can access very many, over 360 doctors, and explain to them what is paining you, and then you'll be attended to. That will be ushering in for another short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be going in for CEO Insight. We're going to have the First Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda, Rebecca Kadaga, about the SDGs. Let's go in for a short commercial break. Thank you.
Smart 24, driving business.
An area made up of over 80 islands, all located within Lake Victoria, the world's second biggest freshwater lake, is following this noble transformation path. All transformational and development journeys have champions or captains. In this one, Kalangala Infrastructure Services lies at the center.
Kalangala Infrastructure Services is a private limited company. It's the first public-private partnership of its nature, and I believe it's still the only one that we have in the country. It's a multi-sector company. We are present in 4 different sectors. Road, marine transport, power, and water. Now, you recognize that These constitute basically the backbone when you talk about infrastructure of any economy.
The company runs a modern and unique power generation system that taps into both nature's providence and diesel to generate power for the islanders consistently without cases of...
In Kalangala, we have a solar thermal hybrid power plant constructed and being operated by Kalangala Infrastructure Services. The total installed capacity of this plant is 1.6 megawatts. The 1.6 megawatt comprises of 0.6 megawatts of solar and then 1 megawatt of thermal coming from the diesel. It is up to the system that controls to determine which technology is used for supplying.
Today, Kalangala Infrastructure Services runs 2 ferries, that is MV Sese and MV Pearl, between Luku on Bugala Island. The journey to transform Kalangala district, an area made up of over 80 islands, all located within Lake Victoria.
Formerly, if we had to travel to Kampala, we had MV Babas. So only 2 days you would move out of Kalangala was on a Tuesdays and on a Thursdays. 4 o'clock you leave Kalangala and 4 o'clock you get to Fort Bell. I used to bring in my cement from Kampala, go to Shed. A bag could cost you 4,000 shillings. That's only transportation costs. Today, with the developments we have, I load my cement in the good shed. A bag is costing me transportation of only 2,000. That's almost half the cost.
The 2 ferries run by Kalangala Infrastructure Project offer great space to businesses keen on targeted marketing to showcase their products to the tens of thousands of passengers that the ferry carries every month.
We operate 2 ferry landing sites. One on the mainland, that's Bukakata, and the other one on Bugala Island. Every month we have 60,000 people passing through them to use our vessels. That's a large space.
The infrastructure developments have opened many business opportunities, with many yet to be tapped.
I want to encourage the indigenous people here to start some serious businesses. So I'm calling upon people to come and invest in Kalangala. We have enough power. We have water, clean and safe water. Like every after 30 minutes, there's a ferry crossing. So there's no worries of transportation of goods and merchandise.
The locals who operate businesses here are already seeing these opportunities.
Twaina amasanyalaze nga tugafuna kawungeezi nnyo saa 12 nga gagenda ku mukago ogw'ekiro era nga tusinga kukolera ddala kiro. Naye kati ku mbeera eno eriwo twafuna kampuni eno eya KIS Kalangala Infrastructure Services naye tuteerawo amaanyi tulina sola balina zigenerator singa sana gwate gulabise amasanyalaze tugafuna buli budde.
The unlocked opportunities for the local communities and beyond are today what is making the local leadership optimistic about the future of Kalangala as a district, and most importantly, the partnership between the government of Uganda and Kalangala Infrastructure Services.
The entire arrangement for the government of the islands is by government of Uganda, but then it had to identify an agent, a pattern, help it deliver these services. Expressing this because this is very, very important. We have had agents, else we are not only here, who are not serious, who have been given assignment, who have been given work, and they don't do it. Actually, they disappear. KIS is a serious organization. This is a serious organization, has really tried to deliver as by the, most likely, the agreement or the understanding with the government.
It is indeed not far-fetched to project Bugala Island becoming a marine tourism epicenter of East Africa, with Kalangala Infrastructure Services at the center. Today, the place hosts the biggest palm oil growing project in the country, an investment also drawing a lot from the KIS-run initiatives like the good roads and the ferries. Of more importance, though, is the fact that today, Bugala Island with the KIS infrastructure support is already emerging as an economic hub in the middle of Lake Victoria.
So many times we confuse Bugala Island with Kalangala district. So Bugala Island is one of the 84 islands. So Bugala Island being the district, the island that houses the district headquarters, the biggest with the palm oil project where it is based, I think it is providing market. It is a source of inputs for these other people. So if you want ice, for example, this main island right now, Bugala Island, we have an ice plant. So these other people who are working.
Many a time, the opportunities we aggressively hunt for in life are a lot closer than we think.
Smart 24, driving business.
We'll be back from that short commercial break. Business today is still continuing, and we're looking at the stories that are happening around the country, especially here in Uganda. Now, like I said, we are going into the CEO's insight, followed by the first Deputy Prime Minister, Right Honorable Alitwala Kadaga, called for more efforts in fostering the achievements of SDGs. And remember, we're remaining with only 7 years left, and this call was made at the launch of the 5th edition of Sustainable Development Goals Run 2023 to take place on 29th of October. This year's run is dedicated to promoting SDG 7, which calls for access to affordable and clean energy. Let's have a look at this story, and then we come back to the studios.
In general, but the environmental one is almost a tragedy. I think you have heard about the floods, you heard about the people who have died, you have heard about the homes, people who have been displaced, buildings which have been deroofed because we have no trees and so on. So the situation is really quite dire. That's why it's important that we keep focus on the SDGs. This event marks a milestone in our journey towards sustaining our goals, and thank you for coming to spread the message so that a lot of people know about it.
Yeah, this is this. Of course, according to the first Deputy Prime Minister. Let me first look at this. You see, however, the Minister of East Africa Affairs also admitted that the country is not yet doing well in achieving SDGs as the environmental, and is referred to as a tragedy. Proceeds will go towards installing clean energy, but now, like, this is what I was talking about. If now we haven't worked well in achieving SDGs, then are we going to also achieve what people call clean energy? That means we still have a long way to go to even have clean energy in the country. Yeah,
just like the first story on climate change, this also falls there. I think the world is waking up to try to save the climate, save the world, save the earth, save the planet, and all these calls. Yeah, though Uganda, we have not yet we are not doing so well with the other SDGs. Now we are moving to this this clean energy. That's why I was saying, you're saying the banks have money, development partners have money for climate change, for clean energy. We have a problem of deforestation, and our people are still using charcoal.
That's the problem. That's the biggest problem.
Exactly. And if we are talking about, we are talking about clean energy, we have electricity.
Yep.
as a country we have electricity, but our electricity only covers it 60%.
Only 62%.
Yeah, somewhere there. I don't have the
somewhere there.
Yeah, somewhere we are somewhere there. That is little. With all this electricity that we have, we even export it to our neighboring countries, but our people do not have electricity. How do you expect them to move away from using charcoal to using electricity to cook?
That's the biggest
if they do not even have the electricity in their homes, they don't have electricity in their light. But we are a country that produces a lot of electricity. What is not happening? Okay, yes, we have issues of vandalism. Of course, some bad, some ill-mannered
people.
I don't know.
Ugandans.
Exactly. they decide to steal these electric, they even steal these wires, these big wires, which an ordinary person cannot do. How do you even go and start putting down those poles, these big, huge poles of electricity?
And by the way, that thing itself is also affecting the electricity penetration, not only in Kampala, but even other areas. And let me tell you this, for as long as we still continue with the vandalism of electricity, it is going to affect even hospitals. You have a woman who is going to give birth to your first son, and there is no electricity at Mulago Hospital because you have vandalized all the machines that are taking electricity to Mulago, then you're going to get a problem. And then the cost of electricity also depends on that. If you continue vandalizing electricity, that means the cost of electricity is going to be high because government will need money to repair what you've vandalized. So that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem. So that's it.
It is really bad, and for such people who decide to carry out that. But still, I would really implore government to distribute electricity to all parts of this country. Yes, we do. The country borrows money, and we have. I know we still have issues with World Bank, but the government is still negotiating. We have a project. There's a project that was going on to distribute for Ministry of Energy to distribute electricity to parts of the country that don't have electricity. As we are still negotiating, let's work on that and give our people electricity. Maybe that way they can embrace green energy, that SDG we are looking at celebrating.
But still, I'll still insist on the issue of vandalism. So kindly, Ugandans, let us learn that vandalizing electricity is really bad. You want the cost of electricity to come down. And I had these statements from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, Ruth Nankabira. She says the more we continue vandalizing this electricity, the cost of power will not get down. That is a fact. So we should look at that and be very serious when it comes to issues of electricity in the country. And then coming to clean energy, of course, that comes along with environmental conservation. We're running away from using charcoal and then using power. So we need power, we need power, we need power. Not only here, but even other villages, in the villages where you come from. I don't know which village you come from. I went to some areas in Chiboga district. I realized people are using power very well. People who are doing, how do you call this, making doors, welding. The guys, young boys were doing welding there. They are using power. Those with the small shops are also using power. Those who have fridges in their small shops, they are using power and they are making money. So let us look at the issue of vandalizing as bad, and anyone who's going to be arrested will face it the rough way, because the minister has been emphasizing this.
Actually, our police should be serious on the people who are doing, the companies that are dealing in scrap.
Yes.
Because it is likely that is where the poles go, the wires go, because they need material. Where do they get? Where actually those scrap companies, where do they get their whatever their products they use to?
There's money. There's money
they should,
that
they
has
should
to
look
be
at.
used.
They should start at that because people are getting money out of making out of creating losses for government and the country, which is costing so many Ugandans who really need this electricity and do not have it. It's really a bad advice, and I pray the perpetrators are
put to book.
Exactly.
That being said, now we'll be going in for our product profile, where they're saying that mobile money transactions has hit 191.1 trillion in financial year 2002-2023. The mobile money transactions were made using the country's payment system in 2022-2023, and this is according to the Bank of Uganda. The figures in the Bank of Uganda, the figures in the Bank of Uganda's recently published in 2022-2023 annual report, which shows that by June 30th, 2023, mobile money transaction values had drastically increased by 22.6% up from 156 trillion in June 2022 to UGX 191.3 trillion. I made this story. Let's have a look at it, and then we come back to studios and make sense out of it. The Bank of Uganda has revealed that in 2022-2023, the volume of mobile money transactions carried out on the national payment system amounted to 191.1 trillion. The details are contained in the 2021-2023 annual report for Bank of Uganda that was recently released, indicating that by 30th June 2023, mobile money transaction values significantly increased by 22.6%, up from 156 trillion in June 2022 to 191.3 trillion. The report also revealed that the transaction volumes increased from 4.8 billion to 5.8 billion over the same period, and similarly, the number of registered mobile money customers as of June 30th, 2023 stood at 42.9 million, reflecting 11.4% increase from 38.5 million in June 2022. According to the central bank, the active customers who transacted at least once in the preceding 3 months increased by 16.3% from 22.7 million in June 2022 to 26.4 million in June 2023. At the same date, the 26.4 million active e-money were held by a total of 20.7 million mobile money holders, representing approximately 46.8% of the total population in Uganda. Statistics from the Bank of Uganda also highlighted that mobile money customers continue to show a stronger preference for low-value transactions, with an average transaction value of 36,477 posted during the year. In addition, low-value transactions remain dominant, with 92.8% transaction volume constituted by transactions less or equal to 50,000 shillings. The central bank report also revealed that the transaction values on agent banking platforms registered a significant increase of 29% from 9.7 trillion in June 2022 to 12.5 trillion in June 2023. The bank noted that the shared agent banking platforms continues to be a key enabler for the mobilization of deposits, especially by the rural areas. That's our product profile today about mobile money transactions. Hanifa, we are talking money here, and we are saying in the Bank of Uganda report, saying that we have over 191 trillion worth of mobile money transactions were made using this country's payment system in 2022-2023. That simply means that people are adopting mobile money and people are keeping their money safe on mobile money. What does this really mean to the country's economy?
Wow, I'm just surprised as anyone. Trillions of money. 191.1 trillion shillings worth of mobile money transactions
in the country.
Yeah.
We are doing well.
We are.
That's what I can say. We are doing well. So the details are contained in the 2022-2023 annual report for the Bank of Uganda that was recently released, indicating that by 30th June 2023, mobile money transaction values significantly increased by 22.6%. That's up from 156 trillion in June 2022 to 191.3 trillion. That is what means by the transaction of mobile money in the country. And if people can adopt this, by the way, people don't know the role of having your money on mobile money. You get, your money is always safe. Even if you lose your phone, you'll still keep your money. Your money will still be yours. Isn't it so?
Yeah,
yep.
Actually...
I have ever fallen a victim of being beaten by burglars, these guys who move at night and stealing people's phones. They took it. I had my money, but they took the phone, but I remained with my money. You get the point? So I think it's very good, this report. It has come at a time when we really needed to know all these figures, and it is very, very important. The same statistics are saying from the Bank of Uganda also further highlighted that mobile money customers continue to grow. You understand? So the customers, the numbers are increasing day and night.
Yeah,
for low value transactions with an average transaction value of 36,477 posted during the year. And in addition, the low value transactions remained dominant, with 92.8% of the transaction volume constituted by transactions less than, and you can see all the statistics. So I think we are doing well in as far as that is concerned.
We are doing well as a country, apart from some few cyber,
they call it online cyber abafere. Yeah.
Those baferes who call you, who call you. Actually, of late they have taken long, but my MTN line, my dear, guys call you and tell you, this is from UCC, we are going to cut off your line. You've not registered your line, whatever. They did that. My sister fell a victim. They took her money. I felt so bad. Okay. I don't know what she was thinking, because we've been, UCC has been warning people, has been warning Ugandans, be careful, don't share your PIN with anyone. But then someone calls you, and I'm sure these guys have been calling people from the villages, and they have been stealing people's money, which is so absurd and disheartening. It is a very bad practice. I pray.
You condemn it in the name of Jesus, of Allah.
I pray that the Ugandan police, please, get for us 2 or 3 of these guys who are stealing people's money, because they use numbers, they use they use contacts, and all the numbers we have in the country are registered.
Yes.
Where do they get these numbers? These people keep calling us.
But Hanifa, we shouldn't forget the fact that every time technology is growing, also these online hackers or online thieves are also coming up with good technology to get to hack into the system. So you remember these banks have been crying sometime here, a few days back, some bankers have been crying of hackers getting into their system. It doesn't mean that those guys don't have good system. They actually have good system, but when technology is growing, there is also another person there who is seated and find ways of how to get into it.
But
and
they can still be got, because it is the same technology that can be used to get those guys. Now, like the anti-corruption state house has been getting, it is getting so many corrupt people. It is arresting so many people. Please get for us these fraudsters. These people are stealing people's money. They keep calling you, my MTN line. Like
but you should also be cautious as a Ugandan and
exactly.
know. For me, I know. If somebody tells you, somebody calls you, you don't know him, and he's like, if you don't do A, B, C, D, what, your phone is going to be switched off, or your line is going to be switched off.
The way they trick people, they just tell you, put in your NIN.
You can imagine.
Exactly. Put in your name. For you to think you are registering your line. Kumbe, your money is going to be taken.
This is what I'm telling Ugandans, and this is the facts. Those people of MTN have all your details. By the time you went there for the first time to register your line, that means all your details are there and they know them. There is no need of them again calling you to ask you for your number, your PIN number, your what. By the way, never share your PIN number with any other person.
Exactly.
I have been a victim of such. People call you on different numbers. They say, do this, you do this. I'm calling from MTN. They don't come in from there. So we have to be cautious and be steady every time.
Some call you and tell you you've won. Those are Airtel. The ones that you call on Airtel, they tell you you have won this and this and this, and you're like, what? So they tell you to come and collect what your price you need to do and this and this, and then in the end your money ends up being stolen.
You know, your money will be taken.
Exactly, which is so bad. Which is people work for that money. People work. Their money shouldn't be stolen. The security agencies, please use all the technology that is there. Get these people, show them to the public that this person has been calling people. We need to see that, so that the public gets the satisfaction, they get the justice. Some people whose money has been taken, they get the justice. Like, yeah, we have some justice now. At least we can see these people being taken to the coffers. It is bad. It is really a bad thing for people's money to be stolen from their phones.
Okay, much as mobile money transactions are hitting 191 trillion in transactions, but still Ugandans need to be very careful with this situation. I'm very sure these telecommunication companies have been sending messages to different Ugandans saying that don't share your PIN. I'm very sure MTN has been doing that for quite a long time.
Actually, now they have gone to banks.
Now, even your bank PIN, don't share it. Even if somebody calls you, even if you know him, he's asking you for your PIN number, please don't share your PIN number, and that's all. That's the only trick behind that. And then we'll be coming up to the end of our very show. This is the business today, and that's how we are going in for business lero, and that is going to be in Luganda. We'll be getting back to you and see what is going to happen in the different other areas. That will be next week
on Monday.
It's a bye-bye for now for the production room, for everybody who's been listening in or viewing Smart 24 TV, especially this very program, The Business Today. It's a bye-bye for now from us, Pedson Mumbe and Hanifa.